Today I was asked to talk about my vocation. And I said, sure. Then I went, maybe I should look and see what Mr. Webster has to say about that. So I looked it up and it said, profession, career, and inner calling. And I'm looking at profession and inner calling. It was the inner calling that really got me. So I thought, well, I'm a professor. And what I teach is about wildlife in college, in the veterinary technician program. And I was hired as, because I had a veterinary technician degree, but I was really hired because I knew a lot about wildlife that other people didn't know, because I studied it in their habitats. So they said, oh, this is different. Someone can actually teach about this without learning from a book, actually experienced it. That's why they hired me. And I thought, well, really, that has to go back to when I was little. When I was little, I was always outside. I was never inside. My parents went to find me. I was in creeks, streams, up in trees, in the woods. That's what they do. And every time I was outside in the woods in nature, I always felt comfort. I always felt a presence there. And then I always heard someone talking to me. And it was very comforting. Even if I was by myself, I knew I was never alone. So I would study the animals. That's really what I was out there for. If I was in the creeks, I wanted to know how crayfish and snakes live. So I was always throwing rocks over. My feet were always wet. My mother said my shoes were never dry when I was a kid. If I want to see about the birds in the nest, of course you had to climb the trees to find out, right? I was always in the tree. I remember my mom saying to me, Tracy, can you empty your pockets out before you put the wash? Because the crayfish that fell into the washing machine was going to shut. And I thought, oh, at least there wasn't a snake. She's like, a snake? I draw the line at snakes. So then I was in school, started school in elementary school, and they didn't know that I had a hearing loss. It was a gradual thing, basically between the age of 3 on. But they didn't know it in the beginning. So I was considered remedial learner. I was a slow learner, they told me. And I couldn't hear the teacher. So I would spell words as I heard them, which is wrong. Really wrong. So my sister would read to me all the time. She's 5 years older. She would read to me all the time. And my sister would say to me, you have to visually identify words. She didn't know I was hearing impaired, but she knew that was maybe a way for me to learn words. So she said, you have to visually. So she would always read to me and ask me about these words, then spell it. And she told me, you have to read books, Tracy. Just keep reading. Keep reading, keep reading. So I would. And then they asked you, right, what do you want to be when you grow up? So I said, I want to be a veterinarian like Dr. Gill, remember that name? Work with wildlife like Joy Adamson. I wanted to be a drummer like Buddy Rich and Karen Carpenter. I wanted to be a mountain climber like Sir Edmund Hillary. So I'm in school and I'm trying to learn, and they told me I was slow. And they stuck me in speech pathology classes. So I learned to enunciate, which was a wonderful thing, because I learned to lip read. And I even would pick up stuff like, oh, somebody has an accent. Couldn't figure out whether there's anybody knew they had an accent. And fourth grade came. I wanted to be in the band. I wanted to be a drummer. I was told girls can't be drummers. I came home and was so upset. I'm like, wow, I thought they want me to play the flute. Come on, I want to be a drummer. My mom said, we're going to pay for drum lessons. You want to play drums? We're going to just like play. So I was in high school. The high school band director, Mr. Bondel, said, I want you to be in the band. You're really good, because every year I would try out. Okay? So in high school, the band director of the high school said, where have you been? By my senior year, I was first chair. But I really wanted to be also a veterinarian. And they told me I wasn't smart enough and take these sciences. My father went to the school and said, why won't you let her take these sciences? Because she's a C student. And he said, fine, she'll be a C student in sciences. It's still passing. Right, so I took the sciences and got A's. They also, at that time, placed me in front of the class. Why? Because you know when you went for the hearing test? Okay. I thought it was like the game assignment. My name is Dan Imperio. The person in front of me was Michelle DeBillio. And Michelle DeBillio, when we sit in it, we go for the hearing test, right? I thought it was, okay, you memorize, right, left, right, left. I thought that's how it was. Oh, I got this down. So I would just memorize what the person in front of me did. But when I was 15, they took us by ourselves, and the nurses turned and he's and turned and he's She gives me this note, take it to your parents. Okay, they take me to my parents. My mom takes me to an audiologist, ear, nose, and throat doctor. And he goes back and he looks at my history. And he said, this started when she was about 3. And he said, it's just, what it is she's losing all the nerves in the cochlea are dying. The range that she's hearing is going to keep getting like this. He said by the time she's 50, she's going to be profoundly deaf. I'm 51. And its range is getting like this, as you guys know. Anyway, so they sat me in front of the class, and they gave me notes. I got A's. So I thought, I'm going to be a veterinarian. My sister took me to Cornell ornithology lab that summer, and I thought, this is what I'm going to be. So I went into the guidance counselor, and the guidance counselor says, I'm sorry, Tracey, you're just not smart enough. You're not going to be able to handle college. Why don't you just play your music and do something outdoors, and you'll be fine. So I went. From there, I went and managed a pet store. And then my sister and I went, and we hiked the Appalachian Trail together. Well, if that doesn't give you a determination, 2 sisters survived without killing each other. Okay? 6 months hiking the Appalachian Trail. We did it. And there was like 5 women at that time in the 80s that did it. It was mostly men. These 2 girls are going to do it. We left them in the dust. Then I met someone on the Appalachian Trail and I got married. And it was a very, I wouldn't say it was a bad experience. It just didn't work out very well. How's that? Okay? But now I'm determined I am going to get an education, a college degree. I find out that the community college where my parents live have a veterinary technician degree and just started a program for the deaf called Mid-Atlantic Center for the Deaf. That was also part of Gallaudet. that they were trying to put education into community colleges. So I'm like, this is it, I can do it, it's happening, okay? So I go to apply for the college, and I want to do this, and the college and the deaf program said, sorry, deaf can't be in sciences and allied health. No one's ever done it. You can't do it. So the director of the program, her name is Harriet Doolittle, says to me, I will take Tracey under my wings and we will figure this out. I was also told if I fail, that they would not let any other deaf into allied health. So it was like the pressure was on, but the determination was too. I also realized at that point, I was becoming an educator between the deaf and the hearing cultures. You understand? Well, that's why I'm doing things. And so the first day of class, I sent a tutor. Me too. This guy named Tim walks in. We're going to give that one 2 dots. So the day we were getting ready to graduate, you have to have your papers signed off. So Dr. Doodle signed off my papers, so she puts down her pencil. And she looks at me and she goes, I just want you to know, I started off as a veterinarian, but I realized I'm supposed to be a teacher. I thought you should know that. Okay. Okay, Dr. Doodle. Okay. So Tim and I moved up here, and I managed East Stroudsburg Veterinary Hospital with Dr. John Tartaglia for a couple of years, and became pregnant with TJ. And a lady named Kathy Weichel walks in as a client. She says, there's a veterinary technician program starting in Northampton. She goes, you should go down for that and start tutoring because you'd be really good at explaining things to clients. Okay, so well, maybe that's the way my life's supposed to go. And John Tartaglia was going to retire. Maybe. So I go down and I meet the director called Susan Sarah. And she's like, you know, wildlife. We need that. We need something that makes our program unique. Why would someone want to come to our program than some other program? She goes, for what you can teach. She hires me on, and 20 years later, I'm still teaching. And I look back and thought, well, what is it that I'm still teaching? What is it that the students really like? So I asked them this week. I said, why is it that, what is it that you like about me? Why do you think I make a good teacher? And I thought, well, because you know wildlife. I thought that's what they were going to say. It isn't. They said it all. They said, Tracey, it's because you make sure that we learn. You figure it out. You always tell us, you'll figure out how to get the lesson. You just study. You're always determined to make us pass. You always tell us, we're going to do it no matter what. You can do it, you can do it. And when we look at you, we say, if she can do it, so can we. So life's the big picture, right? Big picture. And so when you look at the big picture, and you connect all the dots, that's what you